Hello everybody, welcome to the Truth Seekers channel. Today I want to talk about the book of Enoch. The book of Enoch was discovered in Qumran, the Dead Sea Scrolls, where they found a lot of these scrolls. And one of the books were the books of Enoch. This book was removed from the Bible because it was very controversial. I think it was removed because it went too much in detail about the aliens and robots. But people did not want us to know about it. And the book of Enoch, so as I said, describes alien beings that came to Earth. And I have some evidence for that. And I want to start in the first book of Enoch, where they talk about the strange birth of Noah. Noah was the grandson of Enoch, and his father said, Enoch of the Noah was not of man's birth. His hair was white as wool, and his face was also white and glowing, so he was not a son of man, but the son of a god, and he was scared of him. There's also parts in the book of Enoch that describe the first book about the Seraphin, the Cherubin, and the Ophannin. And these were those who did not sleep, and they guard the throne of his glory. So something that doesn't sleep is not human. It's or an alien robot or a hybrid creature that doesn't need sleep. The first book in chapter 15, you have like chapter 15.8, and that one talks about giants. And Enoch says, and now the giants who were born from body and flesh, so these giants were born from body and flesh, from like a robot or made in a laboratory. Because they were born from body and flesh, they will be called evil spirits and on the earth. And on the earth will be their dwelling. And evil spirits came out of their flesh. Because from above they were created, from the holy watchers was their origin and first foundation. Evil spirits will be on earth, and spirits of evil ones they will be called. First book of Enoch, chapter 71, 71.10. And with them the head of days, his head white and pure like wool, and his garments indescribable. And I fell upon my face, and my whole body melted. So Enoch fell on his face, and his whole body melted, and my spirit was transformed. So he like transformed, like in the Transformers, the robots transform, but he transformed from man to robot. So his body, his flesh melted, and he was transformed. And I cried out in a loud voice. So he was yelling in pain and agony, in the spirit of power, and I blessed and praised and exalted. Alright, and in chapter 2 of book 2, chapter 1, I will continue now with book 2 because book 1 also has a lot of stuff you should read, and take in mind that these were like aliens or robots that came to Earth, and some guy who like 4,000 years ago tried to describe these creatures. Now when I was asleep, this is chapter 1, he's talking about himself. When Enoch was asleep, great distress came unto my heart, and I was weeping with my eyes in sleep, and I could not understand what this distress was, and what would happen to me. So the guy was crying in his sleep, so he's had like an intuition that something is going to happen to him. And what happened? And there appeared suddenly two men in front of me, exceeding big, so that I never saw such on earth. Their faces were shining like the sun. Their eyes too were like a burning light, and from their lips was the fire coming forth, with clothing and singing of various kinds, in appearance purple. Their wings were brighter than gold, and their hands whiter than snow. So these guys had wings that were brighter than gold, so it was like gold, but very bright gold. And I don't think humans can have wings that are made of gold because it's too heavy. So, and they are like, their eyes were shining like lights. So I think these eyes were lamps. And he couldn't like say it was like robots or lamps because they didn't know what a robot was in that time. But now we know that robots look like that. Shiny eyes and shiny face. And you could make them very big also. And they came with wings, so they were like flying robots, very huge. And they were standing at the head of my couch and began to call my name. Chapter 4 of book 2 talks about of the angels ruling the stars. They brought before my face the elders and the rulers of the stellar orders, and showed me 200 angels. 200 angels there. When he talks about the angels, he talks angels, Cherubin and Seraphin and Ophannin. Those are like two different types of orders of creatures or robots. They rule the stars and their services to the heavens, and fly with their wings and come round all those who sail. So they're like flying around and coming around to all those who come by. And thence those men took me and bore me up onto the sixth heaven. So there are like more heavens. Like in Dante's Inferno, you have different layers of heaven. I think Dante of Alighieri stole the story from the book of Enoch. And then those men took me and bore me to the sixth heaven, and there I saw 7 bands of angels, very bright and very glorious. And their faces shining more than the sun's, shining, glistening, and there was no differences in their face. So their face were shining like the sun. So maybe that's the reflection of the light on the metal. All these faces were the same. There were no differences in the faces. So it's like mass production of robots. So like I think 200 exactly the same types of robots. And there was no difference in their faces or behavior or manner or dress. So they were identical. And these make the orders and learn the goings of the stars and the alteration of the moon or revolution of the sun and the good government of the world. Furthermore, in the second book of Enoch, or the second, is chapter 21, the cherubim and the seraphim standing about the throne, the 6 winged and many-eyed ones, so the 6 winged and many-eyed ones, do not depart, standing before the Lord's face, doing his will. So they are like guarding the Lord, and they have 6 wings and many eyes. And I think they are like not. If he had just like 2 eyes, he would say he would not mention the eyes. These creatures or mechanics or robots had many eyes and 6 wings. That's unbelievable. Who the hell has 6 wings? So I think these creatures were really totally robots, and they cover his whole throne, singing with gentle voice before the Lord's face. That was chapter 121. And further in the section 8, also in the second book of Enoch, on the 10th heaven, Aravot, I saw the appearance of the Lord's face. So he went up furthermore in the heaven, in the 10th heaven, and there he saw the Lord's face. And listen to this, the Lord's face like iron made to glow in fire and brought out emitting sparks, and it burns. So the Lord's face was like iron made to glow. So here he explicitly says that the Lord's face was like iron and it was glowing. And and it brought out sparks out of his face. So, what more evidence do you need that this was a robot? And then, thus I saw the Lord's face, but the Lord's face is ineffable. So now he starts like using very high words like ineffable, marvelous, and very awful, and very, very terrible. That's contrast. I don't know why he turns out to say it's awful and very, very terrible. But maybe he never saw something like that before. In the second book of Enoch, or 2 Enoch, also called the Slavonic version, most people don't take this version seriously, but I think this might happen for real, and it's close to the first book. In chapter 37 of the second book says, "And the Lord called up one of the older angels." So the Lord, he called an older angel, terrible and menacing, and placed him by me. In appearance, this angel was white as snow. His hands were like ice. So it's ice. He couldn't describe metal or robot, but so he says ice, having the appearance of great frost. So he looked like a snowman or something, or iceman. And he froze my face. So this robot froze his face, because I could not endure the terror of the Lord, just as it is not possible to endure a stove's fire, and the sun's heat, and the frost of the air. And the Lord said to me, "Enoch, if thy face be not frozen here, no man will be able to behold your face." So his face needed to be frozen. That means you need to get like an iron mask, or else his face will deteriorate. Flesh cannot stand this part of the space or something where they were. "For the Lord has let me come to you. You hear therefore the words of my lips, of a man made big for you. But I am one who has seen the Lord's face, like iron made to glow fire. From fire it sends forth sparks and burns." Chapter 39 of the second book of Enoch. Let me read that part also. "You look up now upon my eyes, the eyes of a man big with meaning for you. But I have seen the Lord's eyes shining like the sun's rays." So the Lord's eyes, where lights are coming out of the Lord's eyes and filling the eyes of man with awe. Later on in chapter 42, "Saw the key holders and guards of the gates of hell standing, like great serpents, and their faces like extinguished lamps." So their faces look like lamps that went out. And lamps is of course something made of metal or bronze or something. "And their eyes of fire, their teeth, their sharp teeth. And I saw all the Lord's works, how they are right, while the works of men are some good and others bad, and in their works are known those who lie evilly." So in the second book of Enoch, in one of the last chapters, chapter 67, I recommend you read the whole book of Enoch too. I already made a video of that. You can see it on my channel. And the second in book 2, chapter 67, it says, "When Enoch had talked to the people, the Lord sent out darkness onto the earth, and there was darkness, and it covered those men standing with Enoch, and they took Enoch up onto the highest heaven, where the Lord is, and he received him and placed him before his face, and the darkness went off from the earth, and light came again." So if you read this passage and you think of what's going on here, I can tell you what's going on here. It's like a spaceship coming down to earth, covering the light. People don't see the sun anymore, and it's really dark, so they take him up, they beam him up. There's a lot of beaming up in the book of Enoch, and they beamed him up to the spaceship and took him away, and the spaceship flew away. And when the spaceship flew away, the light came back again. This is the only explanation I can give for this chapter. So they took Enoch away in a spaceship, and he also describes how the spaceships look inside, crystal lights, and they flew around the Earth. He also describes in the first book where he flew, and astrologically seeing these parts where he flew was like really exact and detailed. And it also mentioned that the Antarctica, where he also flew, was not covered in ice. He also mentioned that in the book. So that's also very interesting to know that the Antarctics were not always covered in ice. So thank you for watching, subscribe to the channel, and like my video, and let me know what you think about the aliens